What makes a legend? What mix of courage, inspiration, and inner strength propels an ordinary individual to make history, to stand out from the rest of the populace, shape the world around them, become heroes or villains? I am Funky Monkey. Come with me now as we leave the House of Love behind and enter a new realm, the House of Legends.
Well, hey there, Internet, and welcome to my House of Legends. Now, it took him 9 years, and yet another breakdown, and even a hiatus to direct a Godzilla movie of all things, not to mention the COVID-19 pandemic. But Hideaki Anno eventually delivered the all-new ending to the new theatrical Evangelion series, which is why it's taken us so long to get to it. But we're here now, and so, esteemed viewers, one and all, without further ado, I give you the fourth and final installment in the rebuild of Evangelion.
Released in 2021, Thrice Upon a Time is the last in the series. We rejoin our heroes in the ruins of Japan, where the survivors of successive impacts have learned to make a new life for themselves, and where our hero can finally overcome the horrors of the previous chapter. This one proved a hit with critics, earning it a 100% rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and marks the end of the franchise, according to Anno himself.
So come with me one last time to the world of the Evangelions as we bring this saga to a close with its fourth and final installment, Thrice Upon a Time.
Our heroes continue on through the wreckage of Tokyo 3, until they meet an old friend, and wind up in Village 3, a village created from the ruins of Tokyo 3, and kept by survivors of the near third impact. Survivors such as Shinji's former classmates Toji, who now serves as makeshift doctor, and Kensuke, all-round handyman and Vilay's contact. But Shinji's still struggling with the burden of Kaworu, near third impact, and the reality of a ruined world. And so, Not Ray adapts to living in the third village, while Shinji slowly processes the horrors he's seen.
All the booze in the world won't wash that kind of sadness out of you. Still, the day will come when life grows bigger around it, and it'll seem that much smaller. Trust me, I've been there.
Not Ray still cares for Shinji, which at least brings him back to the village. And so our hero experiences life in the third village. But the fates have one last surprise for our hero. The Ayanami clones need periodic contact with LCL, the mysterious liquid in the Evangelion control plugs, and Not-Ray hasn't been anywhere near LCL for a good long while at this point, so she reverts to her original form and discorporates.
And he was just starting to get his head together again. Oh, what a kick in the flipping unmentionables. But then the Reaper's a blighter like that. He doesn't run to a human schedule.
But there's still the little matter of Gendo Ikari and Nerve to deal with. The plot finally kicks in when Gendo moves his base to the South Pole, and Asuka and Mari say their goodbyes before heading off to battle. But the final assault on Nerve HQ isn't without its own complications. After a rather spectacular battle, Unit 2 makes it to Unit 13, the Soul of Despair. But Asuka's Ava betrays her, causing measures that waste valuable time, and Unit 13 awakes, pulling out Unit 2's plug. Enter Gendo, who isn't quite human anymore. Gendo rips Unit 1 from the Wunder's core, leaving our hero as the saviour of humanity one last time. And at last the stage is set for our finale, as father and son battle for the fate of humanity. But this situation will be resolved another way, and we finally get the truth of Gendo Ikari. Like father, like son, Gendo wished to be alone and not bothered by anyone, until Yui entered his life and changed everything. After Yui became the soul of Unit 1, the Ayanami series was a mark of how desperately Gendo missed her. In processing those feelings, Gendo is able to see her in his memories again. And most shockingly of all, Gendo actually apologizes to Shinji.
Well, knock me down with a feather. I never thought that I'd see the day. Not that a single apology excuses all the pain and sorrow that Shinji's had to go through, but I'll spare you the rant. It's a good start is what it is, Gendo. Now be more like that going forward.
The Wunder made from its own spinal conduit, the Spear of Free Will. And with it, Shinji grants the instrumentality of Asuka and Kaworu. But Rei doesn't really have desires, more than being happy with Shinji. So our hero makes the decision to remove the existence of the Evangelions from all of reality. But the final destiny of rewriting the world falls to Yui.
Well, it's no use rewriting reality if you're not around to see it. Oh yeah, he'd have had to impale Unit 1 on the spear to rewrite reality like that. Better that Mum does it. After all, she is the soul of that Eva.
And so our movie ends with Shinji and Mari, all grown up, in a world without Evangelions.
Alright then, so that's 3 beers, 2 whiskey and colas, and a bottle of sake for Mari. But before all that, I give you the new theatrical Evangelion, or as it once was, the rebuild of Evangelion, Part 4. And it's another clean sweep, as I'm going to put all 4 of these movies, for their audacity if nothing else, into the House of Legends.
Let's start with the negatives. This is the longest of all the new Eva movies, at 155 minutes, which means that it isn't particularly quick in pace. However, the slow pacing of the first hour reflects the more gentle pacing of a pastoral life. Another annoyance is the symbolic pseudo-religious Christobabble that Gendo spouts before descending into the anti-universe. Another confusing and all too convenient plot device. And of course, anyone who doesn't like whiny Shinji will flat out hate the first hour of this movie. Still, it would all just be so many meaningless images without the voice cast, and Spike Spencer's Shinji is finally beginning to mature, as his voice finally begins to match Spencer's own baritone. And while Tiffany Grant still plays an unlikable Asuka, her own instrumentality and resolution goes some way toward explaining her mental state. But of all of this, we can at last mention John Swayze's Gendo Ikari, who finally gets more than a few curt commands and actually gets to emote in his search for Yui. And I did notice the voice of my beloved Yumiko Reedman, voice actress Kimberly Yates, in the mix as Hikari Horaki. And the animation is as commendable as ever, even if the CGI giant Rei with an actual nose is more than a little creepy. But the one thing that I love about this movie is that it finally allows Shinji, pilot of Evangelion Unit 1, to move on from the cycle of pain and loss that this time loop has trapped him in, and with the addition of Mari, there's finally a somewhat stable girl with which he can build a new life. In summary then, it's maddening, confusing and frankly ridiculous, but damn it, so is life. And I happen to think that Thrice Upon a Time is a legendary ending to the story of Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Goodbye then to all Evangelions. And with that, I've been Funky Monkey reminding you that your own legend is yours to write as you see fit. And don't let anyone tell you otherwise. So long, folks.
Hey folks, Funky again. If you liked the video, you know where that button is. Or why not consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell? And if you want to be extra awesome, you can check out my crowdfunding links. And if you're not fussed about any of it, that's okay too. So long!